Coming up in this video, how to open your third eye for beginners. Is your third eye dangerous?
And the age-old question, what's the best way to open the third eye?
We're going to peel open the systems and go behind the scenes to break down the third eye and crack the code once and for all. To get to some of those answers, you have to stop getting lost in the fantasy and start looking under the hood to see how it really works.
So if you are watching live with us today, guys, give us a hashtag #LiveTribe.
And as always, if you're watching on the replay, hashtag #ReplayFam.
For those of you that do not know us yet, I'm Heather.
And I'm David.
From Zen Rose Garden. Yeah. So when I was younger and growing up in the religion that I grew up in, that I'm no longer in because I'm me. I was sitting in a class taught by a theologian about spiritual gifts. And I was really excited about it because I thought I was finally going to get an answer and a direction to what to do with my stuff. So I raised my hand and said that I could see auras. I didn't say I could read auras. I said I could see auras. And I was wondering if there was a resource that could teach me about how to use this gift. What does it mean? What am I seeing? What is it?
And we've seen a lot of people that ask these same kinds of questions of how do I find information that's good and quality and solid on how to use the gifts that we've got.
So he responded that asking God to help me understand it would be my option. And I was like, not what I'm asking. There have to be methods and guidelines to it somewhere, because if I'm seeing it, thousands of other people have seen it through time. Or however many I don't know. And somebody has to have researched it, studied it, figured it out. And there's got to be something somewhere. And
it might be a little bit more than thousands. I'm just saying.
I don't know. But I was a young kid and asking a question because I was like, I have a question. So after the Sunday school class, a church lady with the big hair came up to me and all the Aquanet and the blue eyeshadow. And she's like, will you read my aura? And I'm like, I don't have a clue how to read your aura. I can see these, I can tell you what I'm seeing, but I don't know what it means. I'm a kid and now I'm the weird kid in church and people are asking me questions. I don't have answers to do, but I realized at that moment that a lot of religious systems help you connect externally through an avatar of some sort or a system or the costumes and stop there. And after that, it's kind of haphazard and random and you're left to figure out the rest on your own. Like, what does it mean?
Although it is a little bit better and more open-minded in the spiritual community in general, a lot of people still fight over which system is better without realizing why one system is better than another for some people.
Right.
Okay, this is not a blanket statement. This is the only right way. This is the wrong way. And you're going to get messed up in between if you don't follow this way. Screw that. Okay.
So
before moving on, I wanted to touch on Haunted Scotland. He says, funny, we were talking about opening our spiritual third eye, yet some on this planet will not open their first two eyes and see the bigger picture. Hashtag awesome. Thank you, Haunted Scotland, for keeping it real.
Warning, okay, warning. In today's third eye video, we are going to get a little nerdy with some theory.
We're going to get hashtag super nerdy up in here. Now it's time for the good stuff.
So here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. Go.
So tip number 1, systems and avatars versus processes and methods. This is what I think I was trying to get to when I asked that question as a kid in Sunday school. So is there one system that works better than another?
So let's talk about the difference between systems and avatars versus processes and methods, as we're going to talk about it today.
So systems and avatars are going to be what's external. Let's say it's system of Hindu gods and goddesses. Those would be the avatars and the systems of that certain religion or spiritual system. It's the external, it's the costumes, it's the things that you see.
Right.
The process and the methods, which is what I was trying to get to as a kid, are all the same underneath, because the system of hacking the mind, getting into it, it's the same brain process that gets us all there. Well, the systems and avatars are the externals.
Right. So every religious system is a system with its own avatars. So whether it's a system over here, a system in India, a system in China, a system in Japan, they've all got their different systems and avatars, but the processes and methods underneath are the same. Boom. So it seems like everybody has a better system than everybody else for opening the third eye. If you haven't watched the video on what happens when you open your third eye, go do it now. No, go do it later.
No, you're going to do it later.
Stay with us now. Watch it later. It's going to help you understand what it is that you are opening. So that breaks down a little bit more what the third eye actually is.
Okay, so in the 1800s, a little bit of backtrack, Helena Blavatsky, I want to say it a different, Helena Blavatsky, founder of the movement Theosophy, was looking for this very answer to consistently tapping into her own mind power and the other side. So she traveled the world and studied all the systems, Hinduism, Tibetan, whatever, all the things, and decided to introduce the concept of creating an avatar, because she was seeing this as a shortcut in all these systems to help connect faster.
And she called these different avatars ascended masters. Okay. Once she introduced the concept of ascended masters, I'm sure you may have heard it before, it took off like wildfire. Basically, she went viral in 1800s.
Right. So she's the one that I know some of you might be familiar with Saint Germain, who is considered an ascended master. She's the one that sort of introduced that avatar into the modern metaphysical movement.
Right.
So now it's from the 1800s, and a whole bunch of other ones too that you probably have heard of. But
so if you're wondering where most of them come from, there you go.
So that's kind of a lot of the newer modern ones she kind of introduced as these are avatars that we can connect to help us connect to our superpowers. So it's a shortcut, but
it works.
It works, but she was super adamant that she was creating a philosophy and a system of spiritual theory and not a religion. And for people to not get all religious-y and worshipy, but that these were keys or shortcuts to help you tap in for yourselves and discover your own abilities.
But people like to create rules, and she didn't mean to. But from there, every new thought and new age religion spun off, and she just kind of threw her hands up and said, oh, well, human nature, that's how people are going to do.
So that's sort of a root of like a lot of the stuff that we talk about now in today's world, and the spiritual world in general kind of originate from this one person. So
if you wonder where new age comes from.
Yeah, and she didn't call it the new age. She called it, we're entering a golden age of spiritual thought and theory. So it's just what you kind of see where it originated and where it spiritual phone game ended up. So one of her main points was that the external systems are not the methods, but just a key to access the methods faster, to engage with the mind and get that critical mind filter we talked about in the other video to open up, so that you can gain access into the subconscious and then the superconscious mind and then the spirit world faster.
And Chelsea says the rules of Fight Club is that there are no rules.
Some people don't even need an avatar. They're just
they just know how to connect direct.
So hit that like button for us. Give us some hearts if this is making sense to you. I know we're getting a little bit extra nerdy today, and that's okay, because that's fun. And I know we've got some big fat nerds out there. Let's do that.
You don't have to be fat to be a nerd. You can be,
I was spelling it P-H-A-T, like you're fat, like you're.
Oh boy, that is so old.
That's sort of 90s.
That's way 90s, yeah.
Okay, so tip number 2 is, this is a funny term, but we're going to throw it at you, symbolic penetration, okay?
So Joseph Campbell talked about the concept of symbolic penetration in his last interview with Bill Moyers, where a culture or religious system over many years works with a story, a myth, an avatar, a deity of some kind, or a ritual that becomes a programmed shortcut to gain access to the ecstasy of the other side or how to access the third eye.
So the process is the same underneath it, but avatars, the keys, the costumes are different and work differently for different people because of that symbolic penetration over time.
Yeah.
Right?
So when I hear people arguing over which system is better, just like religions argue over which version of God is better, I just shake my head and just go, stop it. Just stop.
Because when you are talking about subjective experience, your vision into your subconscious, into the invisible reality of the spirit realms, whatever it is, you can only talk about your own and what works for you, and then kind of compare notes with other people. And that's how we create systems.
And find the similarities across the board. So for a Native American medicine person, for example, using time-honored rituals is probably going to work faster for them, their own time-honored rituals, than stepping into some kind of a foreign system with foreign avatars and foreign props and costumes, because their mind is not necessarily familiar with that, and the critical mind may or may not reject it or accept it depending on what they already know.
So when Helena Blavatsky in the 1800s was creating her own system of how do I tap in easily, she was kind of creating her own system, her own avatars, her own way of doing it, not a religion for herself.
We got people that kind of coagulate on that same thing because it works for them. So you've got different people across time that are coming together because they found a similar system that works for them. Underneath, the mechanics are the same.
Right. So maybe I should use the word mechanics instead of methods, because the mechanics of it are the same, because we all have the same biology.
We got the same
all
mind.
The same neurochemistry.
I mean, you don't have my mind. I don't have hers.
I hope you don't have his mind.
Well, we are one mind.
Really weird. Sometimes we're not, when we can't agree on what to eat. But so this is why we teach the processes, the mechanics themselves, and encourage you to use whatever avatar is familiar to you. It's just going to work better and faster that way. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, because the mind is much more efficient using what it already knows.
Well, this is why you have groups of religions over time that are like, we're the only true religion, we're the only true this, we're the only true system, because those symbols become so penetrated and so powerful within a system, and the people, their energy feeds off each other, and it ignites together. It becomes very powerful. So depending on your system, it's powerful for you and your group of people within that system.
Somebody else's props and costumes in one particular play is not going to necessarily translate to another play the same way.
There's just different kinds of bread. You got wheat bread, cracked wheat bread, rye bread. It's all bread, but we're just a different.
I
got shrimp,
boiled
shrimp.
Shrimp gumbo, shrimp lily.
Shrimp gumbo.
All right, moving on.
I got my redneck hat on today, so
Drop in the comments your favorite method to connect. Is it meditation? Is it drum circles, hiking, connecting to nature? How do you connect to your third eye?
Tip number 3, the end game is to calm the chaotic mind.
AKA CTFO.
That's right. So
chill the funk out.
Most people, and not every person, okay, most persons need the outer system of the symbols and the avatars, because the unknown terrain of the mind and the spirit seems really scary to navigate without a guide.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that is what an avatar or system provides. It provides the external guide initially.
If you're a Christian mystic, that avatar might be Jesus. If you're a Buddhist, that might be Buddha. If you're Native American, that might be White Buffalo Calf Woman. It might be your grandmother. So that's what I mean by a guide or an avatar. And that is what the avatar or the system provides.
Right. It is a framework so that you feel safe to explore the unknown. Just like when you're a child, you're not necessarily safe enough to go out into the world on your own. So you need an adult to help you.
Right. You need mom
until
and dad.
You become strong enough to go out on your own.
Because I can't get a job or even reach the door knob. So
let alone cross the street.
So you kind of need that in the same way. So it like I said, David said, it is a framework so that you feel safe to explore the unknown. And once you are familiar with anything unknown, it's no longer scary. You can navigate it.
And we call this breaking through the shamanic ceiling.
And you have to be still enough in your mind and your spirit, which means you have to feel safe enough to be still enough. And from another video, we're talking about spirit speaks softly, and you have to be still enough to hear it. To tap into that other side, and to do that, you have to relax the mind and allow the information to flow in, which means you can't be in a state of fight or flight or fear. So that sometimes that avatar provides that safety. I know I'm safe. I know I'm comforted. I know I'm protected.
So over the centuries, many forms of spiritual disciplines have been developed to get you to this place. They can be super simple. simple, they could be overly complex or super complex, but the end game is to get your conscious mind to look the other way so your inner mind, subconscious mind, superconscious mind can take the lead.
And maybe not just look the other way, but to relax and have to kind of
To CTFO.
partner with
Yeah.
the subconscious and let that bridge connect in a calmness.
Yep.
So, like I said, yoga, yeah.
Yep, I'm seeing lots of
Yoga's
really
good.
good meditation or focus meditations.
7 deep breaths, chant 7 times. So, I mean, there it can be, if you're at a point where you can just take a simple deep breath and you can just connect and relax, that's your end game. That's like your ultimate, you're there. You're just like, let me just tap in. If your ritual is longer, to get yourself to calm down, so that you can see really complex methods, but your whole goal is to get that to the shortest amount of time possible.
And to bridge that gap between the conscious, the superconscious, and the subconscious minds and get them working together so you tap into your genius. Wendy is talking about the higher self. Yes, your higher self is basically that part of you that is fully connected, conscious, superconscious, subconscious, that knows exactly what you need. It's not necessarily something outside of you. It is a state of being inside of you.
And you're trying to connect those in like a nice, free, open channel without any kind of fight or flight getting in the way. Because fight or flight, any kind of fear that's like lingering under the surface is what's going to cloud your connection.
Yep.
So it's kind of like my experience with that teacher from long ago, years and years and years ago. Many people are taught about the avatars and the systems, but lack theory and straightforward methods. Which are just, here's what you're doing, here's what your goal is, and use whatever system works for you to get there.
And what I personally love about our courses and the way that we work is that they work with any system. They work with any person's belief system, any person's concept or reality, because we go with the mechanics underneath it.
Well, because we're not here to tell you what is right for you with the way you need to connect to the spirit world, but we're going to
use what you already
teach you the mechanics of it, which is what I've nerded out my whole life with. So both of us.
We want to shout out one of our Zen heads.
Lynn shared her experience with us on the Google machine recently. She said, like riding an elevator to your higher vibration. I love that. I think she's also a writer, by the way. I have seen Heather and David 3 times now. Each time has been, pardon the cliche, but I can't think of other words to describe my experience, a quantum shift. I got more out of my first visit than I got out of all the therapy I've ever tried put together. So because the work they do is beyond cerebral, I understand things differently on a gut level after working with them. My worldview, how I view myself, and my behavior have all shifted. Grateful for life-changing, enjoyable experience. So we have learned that self-growth and developing your intuition for a badass life go together like sushi, Sapporo, and sake, which I might be eating later.
It's possible. So that's why we created our signature subscription membership, Zen Ed Academy, to bridge that gap.
This will work for you, even if you're allergic to fairy dust and just want real information without all the unicorn poop.
And have never had your metaphysical cherry popped.
I freak out every time you say
cherry popping daddies. Okay. So what do you need to do to get into the Academy?
So all you got to do is click the link in the description to be taken to the checkout cart, put in your details, and in seconds, you can start the first lesson of our psychic development course.
And that will get you on your way to opening your third eye easily and naturally in a way that is right for you.
So all the info is down below. If you liked this video, hit the like button for us.
If you have any questions, let us know in the comments below.
Love in sign language. It's not like a weird gang sign. I know I'm wearing my NWA shirt, but just wanted to let
I'm from the gang of love.
It's ASL. If you have questions, let us know in the comments, because that's where we get ideas for the videos that we make for you, because we want to know what is relevant for you.
Nancy says, you never stop growing in Zen Ed Academy. Chelsea says, unlimited access to you guys. That's my fave. Classes don't disappear. There's something for whatever you're going through, and the support is unexplainable.
Yes.
So for more badass life tips,
be sure to subscribe
and click the bell to turn notifications on,
so you're the first to know
when we drop a new video
or go live.
And we know that time is a valuable and precious resource, and the fact that you guys are choosing to spend that not only with us, but most importantly for yourselves, leveling up your skills and creating an even better badass life for yourself. We honor and appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you in the next lesson, in the next video. We'll see you in the next episode.
See you in the next video. See you in the next video.